Hello, this is Brian Hegney, instructor of Game and Interactive Media Design here at High Point University. Here with the first video of week 12 here in COM 1113, graphic software. Graphic software. Oh, it's a weird name. I know. Graphic software packages, of course. Alright. I want to introduce the magazine Photostory. I almost hate doing this over video. I usually like doing this in person because I usually like to hand out all the High Point University magazines and flip through them. I'm sure you've done that on your own. If you haven't, let's take a look right now at just to familiarize yourself with the High Point University magazine. Let's get out of that, come here, make this big. This is an example of what the HBU magazine is. It's actually extremely beautiful. I love it. I love looking through this magazine. They do a great job. They do a great job with the layout. It's visually pleasing. I love it. So what am I asking you to do? Well, let's just take a look at, I think I saw this one coming up here. Yeah, this is cool. Designing the wow factor. So this is a magazine article about the School of Art and Design, product development majors, merchandising and product development majors. Look at the imagery that they have here. While it may not look exactly like what we did, you can pick out. Actually, it's funny because there's a lot of medium shots. It looks like there's a medium shot here, medium shot here. Is that medium, slight medium, medium? But we have a lot of interaction shots. So professor interacting with student. It looks like someone interacting with someone in the industry. Students working on projects. Like, you get a feel for what's going on here. We have our detail shot, which is that little 3D printed chair. Perfect. And so what we're going to do is adapt our photo stories using pretty much the same exact story. I don't want us to get bogged down in coming up with a new idea. And that's why I normally have students revamp their photo story and actually just reformat it. Now, some of you may be in the position where you don't have your work, and so it's going to be really hard for me to mandate you to do something. You might not have your work because your hard drive is here at HPU, and you might not have access to it. And you might not be able to go out and do something because stay at home. And you might have to do something really lame. And I don't know, maybe do a project on your hobby. Doing a project on your hobby would be cool. Doing a project on, I don't know, do you have a family member that is working from home that can show really cool things, right? One cool thing about the imagery here, this is very much a visual story. One of the questions that we asked ourselves in the beginning of the semester, which is our idea visual? You have students who are cutting out cardboard models, very visual. Cardboard are wooden models here. A 3D print here with a computer screen in the background. So cool. You see how they did that? That's so wonderful. Students collaborating together, holding something and laughing. I don't know why they're laughing. And then, of course, interacting with clients or people from the industry. You've got a lot of visual content here. That's what you're going to need. I'm just going to look through more of these, obviously students. I'm trying to see if there's some other good examples. Interaction shots. Now you're going to be starting to look for these. Interaction shot, interaction shot. People shaking hands. That's a no-no now. And medium shot, medium shot, medium shot, medium shot. Okay. But they're all doing fairly different things in here. Oh, what a great shot. Oh, a great shot! Oh, wonderful viewpoint. We got background going on here. It's framed so well. I'm just trying to think if there's any more photo stories. Here's a photo story. CNN correspondent, mentors, communication majors. So we've got this cool rule of thirds almost shot going on here. Interacting with students as much as she can. Again, medium shots, almost long shot. But kind of changing up all of the images. So what I'm showing you here is just the idea that you can take what was, oh, here's a good example, global transformation. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven photos here, right? We had 5 to 6 I asked you to have. We've got a long shot, we've got medium shots, we've got no detail shots, no close-up shots. This could be considered a wide shot, extreme long shot maybe. Oh my god, seals! What a great symmetrical shot here. Okay, so that's the idea. The other thing we get to play with is, like, look at this silhouette of this city in the background. We'll learn how to do things like that. You've got this texture in the background. The other thing that we're going to look at is, to get you excited, well, let's take a look at this. We are going to be using a multiple different types of images. So here this person, whoever made this layout, used these Lego bricks. They had a PNG image of Lego bricks that they took out using Photoshop, likely. You see how they use Photoshop, and they probably put a drop shadow. Oh, look at that drop shadow on this. That drop shadow is likely an InDesign effect. Yes, it is. You can tell because you see how the drop shadow falls along here, along every single edge consistently? That means it's not like the shadow from a table. Okay, so you've got this going on. Also look at the way that images are inset. In our photo stories, you had your images set to the margins. We'll look at the texture on the back of this page. It's like a cloudy, metalish texture. It goes right to the page edge. Look at this picture of Dr. Disler, right up to the page edge. We are going to talk about how we do that, how we set ourselves up for that. And it's, in fact, it uses something called the bleed. And we'll look at that in Photoshop, or in InDesign. The other thing you're going to notice is color schemes, right? The first blog assignment is going to be about finding your color scheme. I'm not sure if they chose red here because Dr. Disler is wearing a very obvious red blazer, and there are red chairs behind here. They got pictures of red Lego bricks, and they've got a dark red and lighter red-ish use of text as headers over here. And they also are using this blue. Notice there's also blue in this image, blue in her chair. And they've got this light blue Lego brick, and they're picking that blue up with the quotation marks here, and of course the text in the quotation mark. So you are going to come up with a color scheme as well. You're going to come up with a color scheme, you're going to come up with a new layout, and you're going to be using images that go to the bleed, like this top left one, and also images that are inset, that are away from the bleed. Notice these images either go to the bleed, or go to the edge of the page, or stay far from it. That's going to be your, pretty much what you're going to do. Alright, with that, go ahead and look up one of these online. They're really good, you'll see it. Let me show you an example of how you're going to take your photo story. Here's an example from last semester. Actually, what you see here, I totally forgot the student did this. The student printed this image out with their bleeds being printed and their page edges marked by the intersection of these black lines. So it looks smaller than it actually is. But we have a student who did a photo story about the grounds crew. And then when they turned it into a magazine, they have a cover image that they photoshopped. And that's why I had us do memes, because I wanted you to get to the point where you could make a really cool, fun cover image, almost like a fun poster. And I think if I come back here and kind of show you, the idea is you could make something like this with the television and all these circles. You could do this in InDesign too, but you can also set it up in Photoshop, or you can make something fun like the Lego bricks, and you could just make a fun first picture. Let's see if there's any others here. I don't think they do too many photoshopping stuff here. Like designing the wow factor, you could Photoshop that up, right? You could construct that in Photoshop, similar to where this student photoshopped this guy in the whatever mower this is and placed him in the backdrop of a High Point University. The second page here is Mowing Right Along. It's now the title of the story. And then I have taken, he took his story from the original Photostory, right, this blurb here along with all of the captions, and turned it into a 2-page spread, kind of using fun shapes in InDesign and, you know, with a specific color scheme. And this student did a great job of showing me no white and no black. I want you to have all color, and that's going to be the importance of color scheme. And the reason is you're going to be working hard at showing me that you can create a layout focusing on ensuring your reader can read your text, understanding what contrast is. And that's also going to be your first blog post, is going to be about doing that. So we're going to get started with color right away. Here's another example, a photo story that you're all familiar with. You all did this. And then that student taking that photo story. This one, she printed hers out a little differently. These are 4 pages right on top of each other. You've got the photoshopped cover page where she photoshopped the rowing team in front of a different city, and of course I don't think this is not photoshopped. The text and the banners is all from InDesign. You've got a title page, and then your last 2 pages are basically the photo story but in a new way. Notice she has a PNG that goes right to the bleed. And she also has inset images, which is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for to see that you know how to design something where you send it to the printer to print to the full page edge. And I'll show you a little video of that a little later. And of course she made her own little, let's take a look at that. Of course, making this picture border is okay. That's fun. I want to know that you can do that. But, oh no, where'd you go? What are you doing? Down here, she made little call-outs and gave that a little bit of a, that is a bevel emboss effect. I don't like it, but I want to see that you know how to do it. And so we'll be getting into that as well. All right. Let's one last one. This is a photo story about RA life. Some great elements of composition on some of these. And then, of course, taking that 1-page newspaper story and turning it into a 4-page magazine spread. Here, I would have preferred the white background to be like a lighter shade of the blue, and you'll see what that means later on. This was the first semester I did this. You are now the second semester where I'm having us turn our photo stories into something maybe a little more practical, which is a magazine layout. Again, one thing I don't like about doing photo stories for newspaper size is the fact that I don't know, maybe it's behind the times, but what I liked was that you had to deal with a huge single page. And now here's the fun part. You're going to turn that into a 4-page magazine spread, where really the bulk of your 1-page newspaper photo story is going to be split up into 2 pages of the magazine. And actually, this 1 page has more space than these 2 pages. Well, let me go to this one and zoom in a little bit. So your 1-page photo story is bigger than these 2 pages in the magazine story. So just note that. You actually have less space to deal with. Some students think you have more space because you have 2 pages, but remember, the newspaper page was huge. The magazine pages are smaller, obviously. All right, so that's the concept. Next video, I'm going to be going over how we start this project in InDesign, and there's 2 different ways we're going to start, from scratch and from your content, and you know, you can choose whichever you want. Okay, I will see you on the other side. Bye!